Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a 2001 Porsche Boxster, the first gen. This is the 986. Big thanks to Barry for letting me review his cars. We just got out of the 981 Cayman base, and now we're in the 986 Boxster. Curious to see how this compares. 15 years separating the two. That's a 2016, this is a 2001. If this looks familiar, it's because these front end, the headlights, the fried egg, are actually, I thought they were the exact same as the 996, but they are slightly different, Barry taught me. But very, very similar in design. I remember as a kid seeing these on the road and always thinking that the exhaust looked so strange back then, the two in the center like that. We got a 2.7 flat six naturally aspirated, made it to a 5-speed manual transmission, pushing out around 215 horsepower. And interestingly, he tells me the 2.5 liter, which makes 200 horsepower, is actually more desirable because the gearing is shorter on that, and it's a little bit closer to the air-cooled Roots versus this. Much bigger steering wheel and a thinner rim than in the 981. I'll actually take this down. There we go. Quite a lot of groaning. I'm gonna keep these windows up so we don't get messed up audio. And we're off. Clutch engagement point here is way higher than in the 981. And these throws with the manual transmission are very long. Look at that. Look at that. Not nearly as immediate of a throttle response versus the 981. But wow, the steering is alive. These are brakes that do not inspire confidence. Very mushy initial travel. Wow, this gearing is very long. Barry was saying that the 981, the gearing is so long it's interplanetary, which I thought was hilarious. This one feels just as long. With older Porsches, the pedal box is not quite as ergonomic if you have larger feet. It's still working here, no issues with heel toe or rev matching, but things are definitely tighter compared to the more recent generations. But yeah, this steering is way more communicative. Hydraulic, a little bit light. Not a super sharp front end though. I mean, keep in mind this car has over 130,000 miles on it. The first engine actually blew due to IMS issues, and it was replaced by the original owner under warranty at 30K miles. Now we have 100K on the second engine. Much softer vehicle, not as rigid of a chassis. Steering ratio is pretty slow, so I have to turn the wheel quite a bit to get it to change directions, and that also contributes to it feeling like it has a slower front end. It doesn't bite quite as much as I would initially expect, but I guess going back to that idea of congruence, it fits with the rest of the vehicle. This is much more of a cruiser than a sharp sports car. Not the kind of car that I want to push beyond 7/10. I guess I should backtrack and say it's it's still a sports car, but it's not a sharp sports car, right? It's definitely not a GT when I say cruiser, but it's a let's enjoy the back road kind of car, not a let's hit the track and, you know, carve up these canyons as fast as possible kind of car. We got Pilot Sport all seasons on this. Woohoo! Definitely not as grippy. Very easy to elicit some understeer. It's so cool finally driving these, because I remember just seeing them so often as a kid and being so curious about them. A lot more body motion here than in the 981. But you can still feel that mid-engine balance. It's still, what's up GT4? What's up 718 GTS? Okay. This car came out 1 year before the 996 911, but I feel like the ergonomics in this are actually better than the 996. So the 99, this, you know, they first previewed this as a concept car in 1993. They released this in 1997. The 996 911 came out in 1998, and I've driven multiple 996s on this channel, and I feel like the pedal box and just the ergonomics is more noticeably off. This one is, again, not as good as modern Porsches, but doesn't feel as compromised. Got the top down, windy road, San Diego, sunny day. Life is good. What's interesting is that the front end actually lightens up a lot more in this versus even a 987, 981. But as soon as you get on the throttle, I mean, obviously not to the same degree as a 911, but it is interesting that you can see a lot of refinement in the chassis tuning over the years, because even compared to a 987, the front end does get a lot lighter in this when you get on the throttle. Same characteristic though of the feeling, you know, this one's a little bit more understeer prone, but definitely doesn't want to oversteer. So that Cayman Boxster stability and naturalness is definitely maintained across the generations. Yeah, these tires are definitely, they're tired tires. Sometimes it's actually more fun to drive a car with lower limits because you can get closer to the limits, and granted, the limits of this car, you know, hitting understeer and locking up those tires under that heavy braking, not as exciting as oversteer when it comes to limit handling, but it's still more fun than not being able to approach the limits at all, I feel. though this engine doesn't have as much power as you may like, it has a pleasant sound and this crescendo as you approach redline, and it pulls in a very linear way. So it rewards you as you bring it out, which is definitely what you want from a car like this. The suspension is a bit tired, it's a little bit crashy, even as you go over these smaller bumps. You can definitely see suspension technology and tuning has come quite a bit in the last 15 years, comparing the 2016 981 to the 2001 Boxster. But the steering is so chatty, and I love that. No matter how aggressive you get on the throttle, you are not getting this to step out. Not with the throttle, at least. You're gonna have to really toss it around with weight transfer, but not throttle-induced oversteer. I mean, the top of second here goes to over 70 miles an hour in an engine that makes 215 horsepower. That's just absurd, dude. I mean, keep in mind, this is a 5-speed, not a 6-speed. It is a bit comical, though, you gotta admit. You know, the kind of fun thing about this, though, with the front end lightening up on throttle, is that when you let go of the throttle, it's really going to tuck in and rotate more. So you can, it adds another level of dimensionality, which I think is actually quite enjoyable. It's another thing that another tool to really accentuate rotation, to either increase or decrease. And you get that more or less in just about any sports car, but in some vehicles it is far more noticeable than others. In this situation, it adds to the charm, but it doesn't add to the level of confidence or stability of the vehicle, which is why they've tuned out most of that in the later generation Caymans. Dude, I gotta move back to San Diego. I love these roads. I love this weather. I love the vibes. Even in December, you can drive a convertible with the top down. You know, the more I drive this, the more I actually appreciate that it isn't as stable, it isn't as refined, it isn't as planted as a 987, or of course a 981 that we were just driving earlier. As I'm throwing this around, getting aggressive on the throttle and on the brakes, I can feel it wiggle around underneath me and even shift a bit. I'm getting more wheel chirp, I'm getting more liveliness from the car. And while Caymans and Boxsters in their modern forms are definitely critiqued for being a little bit boring, this one is still pretty neutral, pretty planted, slight understeer prone, but it is a little bit more lively. And that definitely adds to part of the fun. Even if it isn't as competent, even if it isn't as sharp, it's about the joy of driving, and this has its own unique flavor. Not as, again, sharp, refined, polished as a 981, but still enjoyable in its own way, and more characterful, in my opinion. Speaking of 981s, that's Barry up ahead. He actually does a lot of content. You can see his camera up there. He does a lot of content of some of the best driving roads in Southern California, at least starting in the San Diego area. Link to his channel down in the description. Even in this Porsche from 2001, super easy to rev match downshift, easy to shift between gears, no fuss, no learning curve. Yeah, heel toe, not a problem. Just have to be mindful that throttle response is a little bit sluggish, so you just want to jab the throttle a little bit more. This is really a car that you can enjoy a lot at 6 or 7 tenths, or even less than that. You know, having the top down. If you live in San Diego, you gotta have a convertible, man. I don't even like convertibles, or rather I didn't until I drove an S2000 on this road a year or two back, and then I was like, okay, I get it now. I get the hype. Even though these throws are a mile long, it's still a very mechanical and easy to use shifter. You're not really having issues of misshifting. It's very clearly delineated gates. The steering is very period correct. You know, you're not having a very sharp steering feel, but you are getting the feedback you want from a hydraulic rack. It's a cool car, guys. It's a pretty cool car. The length of the gearing and the power is going to bother some people, especially if you're going uphill. So in that sense, I would say it feels a little bit less than balanced, right? Because balanced would be maybe 250 horsepower, maybe a little bit more. But such a cool car. Blue and tan, very classic combo. Let me know what you guys think of the 986 Porsche Boxster. Barry's actually trying to sell this vehicle, so check the link in the description if you want to see if it's still available. Much love, my friends. If you want your car reviewed, visit us on jubbalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. Much love, and I'll see you all in that next one.